This is the part where the story stops being about a boy and starts being about what's left of him. A hunt for revenge that keeps ending the same brutal way. A giant who wages war for fun and switches sides just to feel something. A prince so fragile that warriors laugh at him, until the day nobody laughs anymore. And in the middle of it all, one schemer betting his life that he's smarter than kings. He'd better be right. A boy stood on a blood-soaked deck and watched the sea swallow his father. He could have gone home. He could have chosen the warm green land across the water. Instead, he chose a single name, a knife, and the men who took everything from him. So what does a wound like that turn a child into when you give it enough years to grow? Let's find out. Years pass, and the boy who watched his father die on the water is gone. In his place is something feral. Thorfinn is older now, lean and scarred, and there is nothing soft left anywhere in his face. He lives inside Askeladd's mercenary band, sleeping among the men who killed his father, eating their bread, fighting their wars. And the strange, sick arrangement between him and Askeladd has hardened into a ritual that repeats year after year. Here's how it works. Thorfinn does the dirty work. He charges enemy camps alone. He assassinates. He takes the suicidal jobs that no one else in the band will touch. And every single time he completes one, he earns the right to challenge Askeladd to a duel. A real one, to the death, for his father's honor, and for the chance to finally collect the debt that's been bleeding inside him for years. And every single time, Askeladd beats him. Easily, he bats the boy down, hands him another job, and walks away. And the chilling part is how good Thorfinn gets at the job. Askeladd uses him like a blade he can throw across a battlefield. Need a fort's gate open from the inside before dawn? Send the boy over the wall in the dark. Need an enemy commander dead in his own tent? The boy comes back with blood on his knives and absolutely nothing on his face. He becomes a legend in his own quiet way, the little demon of Askeladd's band. And none of it means a single thing to him. Every kill is just another coin he's paying toward one duel, with one man, that he never, ever wins. Sit with what that does to a human being. Year after year, throwing your entire soul at one single goal, and year after year getting knocked flat by the very man you exist to destroy. Most people would shatter. Thorfinn just gets harder, sharper, more dangerous. He grows into one of the deadliest fighters in the whole band. A teenager who can drop seasoned veterans with a pair of short knives and a speed that doesn't look quite human. But he's hollow. He doesn't laugh, doesn't trust anyone, and doesn't dream of Vinland anymore. He doesn't dream of anything at all. There is only the next mission, the next duel, and the cold certainty that someday his blade will finally be fast enough. The bright, hungry kid from the Iceland firelight is buried so deep you'd never know he existed. And here is the cruel irony at the heart of it all. Askeladd, the man who destroyed his entire life, has slowly become the closest thing Thorfinn has to a purpose, the only real relationship he has left in the world. He needs Askeladd alive to give his existence meaning, even as he swears every morning to be the one who ends it. Around the two of them moves the rest of the band, and a few of them matter. There's Bjorn, Askeladd's right hand, the closest thing the captain has to an actual friend. A brutal fighter who, in the worst moments, chews a strange mushroom that turns him into a mindless berserker. And there's Floki, a sly, smiling traitor, the very man who arranged Thor's death all those years ago, still circling Askeladd, still scheming, still waiting for his own moment. Keep both of them in your back pocket. They come back when it counts. While this private little war grinds on, a far bigger one swallows the whole map. England. The Danes are invading England, and Askeladd's band rides the edges of the chaos like wolves trailing a wounded army. They loot. They raid undefended villages. They burn what they can't carry and sell their swords to whichever lord pays best this week. And here the story opens up into something enormous and ugly. Snow-covered battlefields. Terrified farmers watching their homes go up in flame. The brutal, grinding machinery of conquest, where common people are just numbers and warriors are just tools that haven't broken yet. And Thorfinn moves through all of it like a ghost. He kills on command. He feels nothing. He collects his duels and waits. The horrors that would put a normal person on their knees don't even register on his face anymore. That, more than any scar, is how you measure how far gone he is. Then two men walk into the storm, and each one cracks the whole story wide open. The first is a giant, Thorkell. Thorkell is enormous, a literal mountain of muscle and old scars, and he has a very particular problem. He's bored. War is the only thing in life that makes him feel truly alive. and he's grown so monstrously strong that almost nobody can give him a real fight anymore. So when word reaches him that the Danes have crossed into England, he does something completely insane. He switches sides. He abandons his own people and joins the English, purely so he can fight against the Danes and maybe, finally, find an enemy strong enough to kill him. When Thorkell collides with Askeladd's band, it's a nightmare. He throws spears hard enough to punch straight through 3 men at once. He laughs the entire time, delighted, like a child who finally found someone to play with. Thorfinn even hurls himself at this giant, fearless and furious, and gets swatted around like a rag doll for his trouble. Thorkell is exactly the kind of unstoppable force that all of Askeladd's cleverness was built to slip around instead of meet head-on. And slipping around him is going to take everything the captain has. So watch what Askeladd does, because this is how a clever man survives in a world full of giants. He can't outfight Thorkell, so he outthinks him at every turn. He uses the land, the rivers, the weather, the panic of other men, anything he can bend to his advantage. He plays dead. He lays traps. He turns the giant's own hunger for a good fight into the bait that leads him around by the nose. It's exhausting, it's ruthless, and it works, just barely. But every clever escape costs him men and time, and Thorkell just keeps coming, grinning the whole way. The second man changes absolutely everything. A prince. His name is Canute. He's the son of the Danish king himself, and when we first meet him, he is almost painfully timid, sheltered, silent, so shy he can barely raise his eyes to meet anyone's, so delicate and quiet that hardened warriors actually mistake him for a woman. He travels under the care of an old guardian named Ragnar, a man who loves him fiercely, like his own son. Ragnar shields the prince from every hardship and ugly truth the world tries to show him. And through a tangle of war, betrayal, and politics, this prince ends up in Askeladd's hands. Suddenly, this scheming mercenary captain isn't just chasing loot anymore. He's holding a prince, a single piece on the board worth an entire kingdom. Thorkell wants the prince too, badly. The Danish king, up the chain, has his own cold designs on his own son. And Askeladd begins playing the single most dangerous game of his life, juggling kings and giants and armies all at once, betting everything that he's smarter than every powerful man in the room. And the maddening thing is, he usually is. And here's the twist that makes it all so dangerous. Canute's own father, King Sweyn, doesn't actually want his soft, timid son to come home safe. A weak prince is an embarrassment, and worse, a future rival once he grows a spine. So the safest place in the world for Canute might just be in the hands of the very mercenaries who captured him. Askeladd slowly realizes he isn't holding a simple hostage at all. He's holding the entire future of a kingdom in his fist, and every powerful man around him wants that future to snap in a different direction. One wrong step, and his little band gets crushed flat between kings. But the real transformation in this stretch of the story isn't political at all. It's the boy who can barely speak. Because Askeladd looks at this soft, sheltered, trembling prince, and he sees wasted potential. He sees a blade that's never been forged, and he makes a cold, deliberate choice to break Canute open. He has Ragnar killed, the one person who loved Canute without conditions, the man who stood between the prince and the full weight of the world, is simply and quietly removed from it. And something in Canute dies along with him, the same way something died in Thorfinn on that ship all those years ago. But watch what happens when Canute comes back from that grief. He does not break. He transforms. The shy, fragile boy is gone for good. In his place stands something cold and still and absolutely, frighteningly resolute. He stops hiding behind other people. He stops trembling. He looks out at this entire world of suffering and slaughter and cheap, casual cruelty. And instead of being crushed by it, he decides he is going to seize it and rule it. He's going to build a paradise on earth, a kingdom scrubbed clean of the cruelty that took everything from him. And he is willing to become utterly ruthless to make it real. Watch the very first thing the new Canute does. He looks at Askeladd, the man who murdered the one person who ever loved him, and he doesn't scream or weep or swear revenge. He sees a useful tool. He decides, calmly and coldly, that he'll use this clever killer to build his kingdom and throw him away when the time is right. The frightened boy who couldn't meet anyone's eyes is suddenly the most dangerous mind in the room. And for the first time in a long time, even Askeladd isn't completely sure he's still the one holding the reins. Now look at the two of them side by side, because the story wants you to. Two young men, Two father figures torn violently away. Two completely opposite answers to the exact same wound. Thorfinn poured his loss into hatred and became a weapon with no future and no soul. Canute poured his identical loss into purpose and became a king with no warmth and no mercy. The story sets them next to each other and quietly asks you which one is actually still alive inside. And it's honestly not sure either of them is. And Askeladd stands in the very middle of all of it, pulling every string, the architect of half this pain, more clever and more in control than any man has a right to be. He thinks he's winning. He's been the smartest man in every room his entire life, and he's usually been right. But there are forces moving now that sit far above even him. Kings, bloodlines, ancient loyalties he buried a lifetime ago. And when the truth about who Askeladd really is finally rises to the surface, it's going to demand a price that no amount of cleverness can talk its way out of. That reckoning is where everything has been heading, and we'll walk all the way through it. In the final part, real quick, if this story's got you, drop a like and a comment.